Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Shop My Stash video. Last week we did my Shop My Stash roulette style, which was really fun and honestly like re-inspired my Shop My Stash. I want to start doing some theme weeks. I saw some ideas that if I'm getting bored to start doing like themed Shop My Stashes. This week, because of the Sephora VIB sale and also my recent Ulta haul, I'm going to just select the products because I have a lot of new stuff that I know I want to select and work on. But leave me a comment down below and let me know a specific theme that you would be interested in seeing for my Shop My Stash in the upcoming weeks. So like I said, last week we did roulette style, so half of the items that were selected for this specific rotation were randomly selected, and I actually had a lot of fun just using my collection the last couple weeks. So I'm really excited to pick some new products. And if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, I do upload 5 days a week. So I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. But other than that, let's just jump into this Shop My Stash. So starting with this, we have my Amazing Cosmetics primer. I just put this in a project pan, so this is going to be one that I'm going to be continuing to work on until it is complete. Then I also had my Ofra Rays of Light primer, which I used 2 to 3 times. This is not a favorite primer of mine. I did not enjoy this primer whatsoever, but I just don't have it in me to declutter this yet. I am going to put this away because I did use it, and trust me, I do not feel like reaching for it. Then I also got a ton of use out of my No Problem primer from Touch in Sol. I actually would mix this with my Amazing Cosmetics primer so that this is a more pore filling primer, and the Amazing Cosmetics is an illuminating primer, so I would mix these two together, and I really enjoyed that. But I did get a ton of use out of this, as you can see, so I'm going to put this away for right now. And then this Kaja Beauty foaming primer was the last primer I had that I was working on. This was randomly selected. This is a super shimmery primer, so I reached for this one time just to say that I had done it, but this is one that I'm only going to be reaching for in the summertime. This definitely isn't a favorite of mine, so I'm going to put this away for right now. For foundation, I had this Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour breathable foundation. I actually got a ton of use out of this one, and I do really enjoy this primer. It isn't like a favorite, but I do like using it, but because I did get so much good use out of this, I'm going to put this away for right now. I also use this one a ton. I love this foundation, and I would love to keep this one going, but I use this so much I need to rotate something else in. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Such a nice foundation, and it's from the drugstore. You can't go wrong there. So I will put this away, but I do love this one. I used this one twice. This one was one of the randomly selected ones, and I like this foundation, or the CC cream, but this is more of just a summertime CC cream. For me, this is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Illumination. So I used this a couple of times. I'm ready to put this back. And then finally, I have this YSL Touche Éclat Le Tint Radiance Awakening foundation. I love this one. Used it a few times. This is one of those foundations I find myself like not wanting to reach for on days that I go to work, just because I know this is a more expensive foundation and I want to reach for it on more like special occasions, if you will. But I did use this 2 or 3 times, so I'm going to put this away, and we're going to be selecting all new foundations for this rotation. In this drawer, this is super dirty with a bunch of powder. This is a bunch of stuff that I just like always have going. Some lip balms, my Ulta Creamy Contour bronzer, my Milk lipstick, Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Serum, and then I also had this pulled. This is my Stila Glitter and Glow, Shimmer and Glow in Kitten, and I used this one time. I feel like this might be starting to dry out, so I am just going to keep this in rotation just to try and get some more use out of it before it completely dries out. Over here we have my mascaras, as well as this product from the Brow Gal, which I actually really enjoy. This is the Instant Tinted Brow Gel, Brown Hair O2. It has microfibers in it. I really enjoy this on days that I'm not doing a full face of makeup and I just want like a lighter brow. This works really well. I always have a million mascaras going at once, so right now we have my L'Oreal The Luminous Black, my Wonder Beauty Unlashed, I think it is, Unlashed, my Milk Kush Waterproof, and then I also have these from Benefit. These are their Real Tinted Primer as well as the mascara, and these are actually like dried up. Like I don't have much more of these or any product left in these, so I'm gonna put these away, and I think I'll end up pulling in one more mascara. Okay, for bronzer, I had the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer in milk chocolate. I really enjoy this bronzer. I've used this so much, and I want to just continue to use this one, but I used it so much that I know I should put it away and give some love to a different couple of bronzers, so I'm gonna put this away for right now. So then I also have my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in light. This has been going for so many rotations, and I finally started to get some really good use out of it. But there's a face palette I want to pull in, a contour face palette, just now that I've started to actually contour again, to see if I like. So because I have that face palette, I won't be needing this, so I'm going to be putting this away. And then the third bronzer that I had was this one from NARS. This is the Sun Washed bronzer in Laguna. I used this a few times. This had already been going the rotation before, but then this was randomly selected. I like this bronzer quite a bit actually, but I think I'm ready to put this away for right now. For blush, first we had this Natasha Denona Blush Duo. I really do like this. I only ended up reaching for this 1 or 2 times, but this was going in like a couple of rotations ago, and I got a ton of use out of it then, so I feel good about putting this one away again. I did get some really good use out of my Flower Beauty blush in Sweet Pea. This is a beautiful blush for this time of year, and while I would love to keep it pulled because it is a beautiful blush for this time of year, I do want to rotate some other blushes in, so I will be putting this away. Then I also had this Cover FX Blush Duo in Warm Honey in rotation. I got a ton of use out of this. This has been going for the last 2 rotations, and I've gotten really good use out of it for the last month or so, really. So I am ready to put this away, even though this is another really beautiful one, especially for this time of year. This is the last blush product that I have. This is MAC Fairly Precious. It's like, what do they call this? An extra dimension blush, and it's super shimmery. It's like a blush topper. By the way, I am self-tanning, so ignore my hands. So this looks more of like a highlight, obviously, than a blush topper. I did end up using this 2 times very lightly on like a very loosely dense brush, so a not dense brush, just to give my cheeks like a little extra glow. But this is a product that I definitely prefer to reach for more in the spring and summertime, so I am going to put this away for right now. I almost forgot about this guy. This was the 4th bronzing product that I have. This is a MAC limited edition bronzer in Sun-Soaked Strip. This is the darker of the 2 that they released in this. I actually have the lighter one as well. I used this twice. This was a little bit dark for me right now, but I like super diffused it and went on with a super light hand and made it work a couple of times just to say that I used it. But I am going to put this away because it is just a little too dark for me this time of year. For highlighters, I had the ABH Amrezy highlight as one of mine that was randomly selected. I love this highlighter, used it a couple of times, but ready to put this one away. So then I also had my Becca Prismatic Amethyst. I have been loving this highlight lately, and even though I know I should put this away because I've gotten some really good use out of it, I am going to actually keep this in rotation one more time. I've just been really loving this. So then I also had this one pulled from Makeup Forever. This is in the shade 1. This has been a highlight that I've loved for the last couple of years throughout my collection. It's this beautiful, just like icy pink shade. Just icy pink shade, and I love this as well. Ew, a part of me wants to keep this in, but I know another shade that's similar to this that I can rotate in just to make sure I'm getting use out of other items in my collection. I had randomly selected this Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. I did not reach for this guy at all, so I will keep this in rotation. The last highlight I had was this one from Dose of Colors and I Love Sarah E. This is in the shade Bathe, which is this super intense pink highlight, super intense. I think I used this 2 times, at least 1, possibly 2. This is just even more intense than this one. And it's just not something I'm reaching for on a day-to-day basis. I do still love this highlighter, but I am ready to put this back. Then I also just tossed this into my everyday makeup drawer after my Graveyard Project Pan ended. This is the Hourglass Mood Exposure Blush. I love this blush, and honestly, I'm just going to keep this in rotation because no, I won't, because otherwise I'm going to end up reaching for this over other stuff. So I'm going to put this away for right now. I've gotten so much use out of this the last few months. Okay, so then back here I have my 3 concealers I was working on. I actually got really good use out of all 3 of these. I have been loving this Elsie concealer. You guys know I love my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion, and on days that I wear this, I would go on with with like 2 or 3 dots of the Tarte Shape Tape, and then I would mix this and put like more Flawless Fusion on than I had Tarte Shape Tape, and I actually really liked that effect. It took away like the full coverageness of the Tarte Shape Tape, but at the same time I was still getting use out of this, so I actually really enjoyed that. I'm gonna put these 2 away but keep my LC one in for one more rotation. And then way back here, okay, so first we have this Dose of Colors Block Party single in the shade, I think Seashell? No, Shall We Dance, which is this, sorry about my color guard, you guys. So as you can see right here, it's just this beautiful like shimmery champagne shade. I actually ended up reaching for this and pulling this in like halfway through rotation, which is super rare for me to pull in a single shadow, but I did. I am gonna put this away and try and get some use out of some of my other single shadows in my collection. This is a ColourPop Super Shock shadow in the shade Extra Sprinkles, and as you can see, I've actually hit pan on this. This was going in my 7 for 7, so I was super focused on this. That 7 for 7 series has helped me a lot. If you guys are interested in catching that, I will link it below. It is the video that I post every other Sunday opposite my Shop My Stashes. But I got some really great use out of this shade, so I am ready to put this back. And then this one is one from Helios Beauty. This is a really deep plum shade, and I did not reach for this at all. This is one that was randomly selected for me, and it's just not a shade that I have felt like reaching for, so I will keep this in rotation and try and use it the next couple weeks. I also have my Hourglass Luminous Light Powder pulled. I've actually been using this. I heard Kelly Gooch say that she liked to use this to help just like blend her shadows out, and I've started to use it for that and actually really been enjoying it for that, so I am going to keep this going just because I have been feeling inspired to use this, and I almost never feel inspired to use this, so I'm going to take that inspiration and run with it while I have it. And then way back there was my Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. I'm just going to continue to try and use this until this is gone. For my loose powder, I've been using my Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I'm going to keep this in rotation. I don't have a ton of loose powders, so every time I pull in a new loose powder, I like to keep it in rotation a few rotations. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. And then here were some of the lip products that I did end up using. I didn't end up pulling in every single lip product and putting it in here that I used. I always forget to do that. But these are ones that I had specifically selected to work on and did actually use. So up first we have the Marc Jacobs Lip Gloss Stick in the shade Mocha Chocolate. This is not a favorite product of mine, but it is a super wearable lip color. Then I had the NARS Lip Lacquer in Santo Domingo. I also really love this product. I had the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Baddest Beige, if my camera could focus. This is the shade that Jaclyn Hill was raving about. I think it was like last spring, and I actually got some good use out of this. I think I wore this like 2 or 3 times. I really do enjoy this shade, especially over like a liquid lipstick if you're just trying to like hydrate it, because this has definitely some hydration to it. So really do love this lipstick. And then I also did get some use out of this one from Bite Beauty. This is one of their matte lip crayons in the shade Glacé. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, it's a very, very, very beautiful shade, especially for this time of year. Just a beautiful mauvey, rosy toned shade, so really actually did enjoy using that. As for the lip products I did not get use out of, I didn't get use out of this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea lipstick in Beach Bum. It's a very nude shade. I also have this Pacifica Power of Love Powerful Color Natural Lipstick, and then I also have the Dose of Colors Liquid Lipstick in Mondays, which I actually love this shade. I just need to use that. So these 3 I will keep in rotation and try and use the next couple of weeks. So then I just have my face palettes to show you guys. These sit on top of my desk, not in my drawer, but I did have my ABH Aurora Glow Kit. I did end up using this one time, but I think I'm going to... No, actually, I'm going to pick something else. I'm going to put this away for right now. Then I had my Becca Après-Ski Glow Face Palette. I actually love this palette, but I did not reach for this one time, so I am going to keep this one in rotation. And then finally, I had this one from MAC. This one is okay. It definitely is not the most intense highlight you're ever going to see. In fact, these are very, very subtle powders, and I am going to put this away. This has been in rotation for a couple of rotations now, so I am ready to put this back. All right, you guys, we are through my makeup drawer. Now it is time to go shop my stash. So here is my foundation, and primer like area. You can't see it the very best here, but for primer I just picked this one up from Origins, well, from Ulta, but it is Origins. It is their Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. So I'm going to pull this in for primer, as well as I think I'm going to... And then I think I will also go with my First Aid Beauty Pores Beyond Matte Primer. I want to continue to mix that Amazing Cosmetics primer with a pore filling one. So I feel like this will be a very good option for that. And then we'll call it good for primer. For foundation, I am going to pull in, I'm going to pull in my Maybelline Matte Fit Me, what am I trying to say? Foundation. I don't have any new foundations that I picked up, and it's been a little bit since I've reached for this, so I feel like this will be a good one. And then I will also grab, I think I will also grab my CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. This sadly has been discontinued. I've gone through so many bottles of this, and this makes me very, very sad that this one is discontinued, but as you can see, I have almost a full bottle left in this. This is probably close to a year old in my collection, so I feel like I should start to get some use out of this and start to use this up and officially say goodbye to it. Okay, so here is my powder and concealer drawer. I don't feel like I need to keep any or to select any new powders, but I do need to pick out some new concealers to work on. I have that Elsie Cosmetics one that I kept, but I also am going to reach for this one from Ulta Beauty. This is their Youthful Glow Concealer. I just recently picked this up, have not tried it, so need to give this a shot. And then I'm also going to grab this one from Juvia's Place. This is their, I think, I Am Magic Concealer. I also just recently picked this up, so I will pull those two concealers in. I decided I'm also going to pull in my Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation. I realized I'd only had 2 foundations pulled and would like to have 3. I do have 1 foundation currently going in a project, but I do want to have 3 different foundations pulled. So I'm going to pull this one from Wander Beauty. This is a little bit more full coverage, not my favorite foundation, but who knows, maybe I'll change my mind. Okay, moving on to my bronzer drawer. It's been a while, I feel like, since I have reached for my Fenty Beauty bronzer. I have mine in the lightest shade, which is in the shade Into Sun. So I'm going to pull this, and then I also am going to pull, I'm going to pull this one from the Beauty Crop, I think it is. I just got this in like an Ipsy quite some time ago, so I will reach for this one. This is almost more of like a contour shade, but it is beautiful. And then I will also grab this L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It. This looks like it might be like a super like glowy bronzer. Sorry, my color guard is ridiculous on my hands, you guys. But this actually is a really, really beautiful bronzer and doesn't leave the skin looking too glowy. It has been a while since I've reached for this, but I do know that I do really enjoy this bronzer, so I will grab this as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving into my blush drawer. Okay, way back here, it has been so long since I have worn this Wet n Wild color like ombre blush. This is in the shade The Princess Daiquiris. This is a super neutral blush, very, very easy to wear, but I am going to reach for this. I didn't grab any, or I don't have any new blushes, but I do have a face palette with new blushes that I do want to pull in. I think I'll also pull this one from Clinique. This is one of the Clinique Cheek Pops in the shade Fig Pop, and this is a really nice one. If you can see, you probably can't with my color guard. It looks like my hands are so dirty. This is a really beautiful one, especially for this time of year. I think I actually just like for some reason really want to reach for this one from ColourPop, even though this is more of like a summertime shade. I picked this up with the Peach collection, I think either in August or September. This is the Fresh and Peachy blush. It's just a really nice light peach blush, and I really enjoy it. Okay, so then we are into drawer 1 of 2 for my highlights. Sorry that you can see like my weights over on the side too. So I did just pick up this palette from Ulta. This is the Lancome Holiday Highlighting Palette, and it obviously has 3 separate highlights in it, so I will grab for this. And then I think For this drawer, I actually do want to reach for this one from Laura Geller. I love to wear pinky highlights this time of year. This is in, I think, Charming Pink. Yes, Charming Pink. So I will grab this and then we will really call it good for this drawer. In this drawer, we have all of my like more champagne toned highlights, yes. I also recently picked this one up during the Sephora VIB sale. This is the Kaja Mochi Glow highlighter in the shade Toy Alien. So I'm going to grab this and try and get some use out of this. But other than that, we should be good for highlights. Alright, you guys, so then down here we have all of my like single shadows as well as my like pigments. I feel inclined to grab a Super Shock shadow, and I'm going to grab this one in Tassel. This is just like a white glittery shade. Let me swatch it. As you can see, it's not even like too intense. Well, it's kind of intense. It's just a lot of like, it's a white base with silver sparkles. It's in the shade Tassel, if I did not say. So I will reach for this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reach for this one instead. This is in the shade By the Pound. And this is like a blue, has blue pink sparkle to it. Maybe I'll just reach for both. I do have room in my drawer for both. I'm just thinking that this white sparkly one is definitely not going to be one I can wear to work. And I would love to get some use out of both of these, but I'm just going to grab both. Okay, I'm going to be loading up on products I never use or never reach for it, but I have yet to reach for this from Ciate London. This is their Eye Luster Cream Eyeshadow. And I got this in a boxy charm, and it is a really beautiful, like, shifty shade. It has like a gold shift, and then if you catch the light right, it's just like a light lavender. I don't know if it's picking up on camera right now, but it does look like a really beautiful shade, and I would love to get some use out of this because I do know these products do dry out and go bad pretty quickly. And then for some reason, I'm also feeling really inclined to reach for a MAC pigment or a pigment. This is a MAC pigment. This is in the shade Goldstone. It's just a really beautiful like gold shade, so I'm gonna grab this as well. Probably gonna regret pulling this is like my least favorite drawer in my collection. I just don't feel inspired by the stuff in this drawer, so I'm probably gonna regret pulling in so many items. Way down here we have eyeliners and mascaras as well as brow products. You guys know I just typically like don't share what eyeliners I use. If you guys want to see me share and pull eyeliners, let me know, but that's just not something that excites me. As far as mascara is concerned, I'm gonna reach for the newest mascara to my collection, even though I know I shouldn't do that because my mascara collection is so large. I just picked up this mini NARS Climax mascara, and I have been wanting to try this for so long, so it's time to finally try this. Plus I want to try it and review it when I do my follow-up haul, so I'm going to be grabbing the NARS Climax mascara to add to my mascara collection. Okay, so down here is my face palette drawer, and I told you guys there was a face palette I specifically wanted to reach for, and it is the Koki contour palette. This is basically a dupe palette for the Shade and Light, and now that I've finally started to actually use contour products again, I want to see how I truly feel about this. So I'm going to pull this in and try and get some use out of this. And then in the bottom, in the second face palette drawer, down here we have this new one I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. This is one of the Hourglass Ghost palettes. This is just the quad, the 4-pan cheek palette, and obviously I really want to get my hands wet with this, so I'm definitely going to be pulling this in to work on. Alright, you guys, we are back in my makeup drawer. I have tossed in a ton of lip products to that back corner, like probably like 15 or 16, so that I can just try and cycle through my lip collection a little bit better. Let me know if you have some ideas for cycling through lip collections, because I'm really bad at doing mine, and my lip collection is also out of control. I'm really excited to test out a ton of new products, especially the new ones that I picked up during the Sephora sale, as well as the Ulta 20% off coupon, so that I can get my review up for you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what sort of themed weeks you guys would like to see, so that we can spice up these Shop My Stashes in the future. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video, and I will catch you in tomorrow's.